That's an understated track. Hello, folks. I'm the KQ from Loggington. This is gonna be a sorcery stream. Ah, there's the music. Okay. Playing more Steve Jackson sorcery. We're gonna cast some spells. We're gonna buckle some swatches, I guess. I don't really know what a swatch is. Casting Magic Missile. That's an interesting choice. Let's see. That is... That is 1d4 plus 1 damage. So, let's see. You roll 3d4, and that is 8 damage plus 1 from each missile. That is enough to make me completely explode and splatter all over the walls. I guess the stream's over. I'd like to thank you all for attending. Unfortunately, I have been jibbed. Is it jibbed or git? I think it's jibbed. It's probably not jibbed. That makes it sound like I'm suddenly a member of the Bee Gees. Also, I guess I forgot to take into account caster level, and man, there's a reason I don't play D&D by hand. Like, every time you think you've accounted for all of the numerical bullshit, there's always more numerical bullshit. Yeah, you have to account for caster level in that. Oh well. Well, it's at least 3 missiles. Man, I don't know. This is why I like, the Baldur's Gate system. You just click your guy, and you click a button, and then you click, like, an enemy, and they go BRIG, and then you get 24 swords, and 8 shields, and 3 candelabras, 2 hard-boiled eggs, a dozen fries. Loot drops, they're everywhere. If I have actually a weakness, it's that I will either ignore or sell loot every time. I don't want to carry it around with me. I don't want stuff in my backpacks. That is a personal flaw that, I know is kind of weird. But I just have the amazing ability to ignore clutter and treasure and such in favor of just walking away from it. I do feel like that's gonna get... I did not use half the shit in my Star Ocean inventory, and I feel like I should have. But I also feel like I'm gonna give people a stroke when I just look at some stuff and go, oh, you know what? That doesn't suit my build, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm pretty sure the background of this track has a menu select noise. Yeah, there it is. That is a weird little bloop. Anyway, reconstitute the streamer. We're gonna get started in about 2 seconds. Mix me with some, like... Mix me with a soup base and some noodles. And I am gone. Why am I gone? Stop that. Reappear. Yeah, there we go. I keep... Okay, that is... Yeah, that's not the right program. Hold on. Okay, I think I might have just fixed, the reason I'm not appearing right in a lot... Oh, no, that's the wrong background level. Where is my head? Ahem. There we go. Okay, so I think I got my thing fixed. I think I got the VR chat loader. No, not VR chat. Video tube loader fixed. It things are going off to a fantastically swimming start here. My microphone is plugged in, right? Yeah, good. Okay. So when we last left our hero, Jan and I were headed towards Torapani, the last village in the Shamutani Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Let's see if Jan knows the way. To the right of the forest, to the left is the going is easier. The path leads through a field of black flowers to Torpiani. What else do you know? Nothing, and that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging for you for advice. You get no more from the creature. With Torpiani so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely. Let's go for the forest, because I don't trust anything that's described as, like, black flowers. You show me to a place where a field of black flowers has ever been a good thing in fiction. I don't think you can. Hello, Jaffa. Good to see you. We go right, you decide. Then be on your guard, John warns you. You travel uphill for about an hour. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin. The view west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch glimpses of Kar on the northern horizon. Let's have a meal here on this mountain top. That sounds romantic. We'll eat with John. Taking a brief pause, you eat a ration of your food and feel better for it, then you continue along your path. John is in a talkative mood and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see and how things smell and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune card. Wow, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that is... I guess John is an honorary mogul. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, John falls silent and hisses in your ear, "Stop! Stop now!" Why? Because, insists the creature in a tiny voice, because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. John is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. "You've seen me," whispers the voice. "I know it." Well, we certainly have now, Mr. Fucking Subtle. Poking us with a sharp, pointy object. Oh, sure, we can just walk away. Let's walk away from the sword point. This holds no power over us. Alright, let's answer. "I see nothing," you call back. "You are quite safe." "It is not I who is not safe," returns the voice. "Okay, who's there? Who are you?" There is no reply, but the tall figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him a moment before. Even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away, he wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands. And he looks cool as hell. Like, he looks like the painting guardians from, original Dark Souls. Alright, let's go with a spell. Let's hit him with the old magic. Let's go with Zap. You cast the spell, but nothing results. I should probably tell you, Jan whispers. Mimites are protected by an aura. It is a curse sometimes, like now, because you can't cast magic while I'm nearby, and I'm not leaving while that assassin is there. You bring your sword up to bear. Oh. Oh, shit. Okay. Jan is a liability. I did not anticipate that. Not being able to cast magic is kind of a problem in a game called Sorcery, I think. Okay. Sorcery. We're gonna have to go full melee. You know what that means? Full sword. Shit. Okay. The assassin bows to you, taps 2 fingers against his chest, and then takes his position. You measure the weight of your sword, then bring it up to deliver a cleaving blow. The assassin covers himself. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Closing his eyes, he murmurs a quick prayer as he sets his stance. I think we ought to block. We just blew our entire fucking health bar on that. You drop yourself into a crouch as he powers forward, but it only tires him out. You are mostly unharmed. The assassin laughs appreciatively. He spins his sword around to shift the sword across his body. He seems to be having a good time with this. Alright, let's give him a 5. Wangan Midnight Maximum Sword. Yes, we're gonna drift. Sword drifting. Time to attack. You swing your sword fast in towards his chest. But the blow you land is minor, because the assassin has adjusted his stance swiftly. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, he says in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. That sounds like we ought to defend. Yep, he came in big. You whip up your defenses as he tries a deep slice, but you roll out of the way, mostly unhurt. He nods to you wisely. The assassin swivels his grip. The weapon sings as it moves. Well, I think we're gonna defend one more turn, and then we're gonna go maximum sword again. We're losing a lot of stamina here. But I think we can make it up in the village ahead if we survive this. You hold firm and keep up your defense. His light blow sails over your head, moving with the deadly speed of an attacking serpent. You are mostly unharmed. Okay, maximum sword. Acting quickly, you rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but his own move is fast and careful. He's able to parry. Blood drips from the assassin's tunic. He curses under his breath. Breathing deeply, the assassin whispers a mantra as he readies his blade. He's coming in big again. I'm gonna defend. Yeah, thought so. You ready yourself to block, you parry, he raises a hand to draw a line and a finger across his throat. A finger and a line across his throat. Alright, we're going in again. The assassin's breath is coming in short gasps. He closes his eyes for a moment to steady himself. You will die out here, the assassin says, his tone like ice. Not if I can help it. Let's go in one more time. Ah, we lost. Okay. In the next moment, he is on you in a flash. Your own stroke is overpowered. His own blow is of medium death, but enough to knock you reeling. Sindla forgive you, he declares as he swings. The impact of his swing catches you in the kidneys. As he pulls his blade clear, he lifts you from the floor and kicks you in the stomach. Well, that's mean. That's a mean follow-up. This is a fucking Mortal Kombat match now. I gotta defend. I got nothing. I'm gonna defend again, and then we're gonna go in all in again. Yeah, okay, we're getting weak, but I think we can do this. Yeah, there we go. Facing left, you dive forward with a deep, heavy blow. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you choose, but if you do me an honor and use my own blade. 8 stamina lost, shameful. I suck at sword fighting. But to be fair, 3 of that was from the spell that I tried to cast, which failed, because John is a liability. That sucks. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor, gasping. I'm not gonna stab a dude who is just down and out. I think we spare him. Then get up, you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away yet. He nods and sheathes his own blade. You are a worthy victor. I am glad to meet you. Now you have saved me, you own me in part. My name is Flanker, and I am an assassin and a thief. What will you give me for your life? You have my name, for one. A name is a thing of power. He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps from the pain of his injuries. You are traveling to Kare? He asks. I don't see any reason not to be honest with the guy who tried to kill us. Yes, I go that way as well. I will not travel with you, but once you are there, perhaps I will see you. If so, I will not forget the debt I owe you. Well, I will remember you there. He bows his head again. This time it is definitely from pain. Go, he hisses. You cannot aid me. Yeah, you want to fucking bet? No, you reply. I have caused your wounds. I will help you. He grins with gritted teeth. Are you a doctor? I do not think you are. Yeah, well, fuck you. Tearing strips of dark fabric from his clothing, you bind his wounds tightly and the bleeding lessens. You are too kind to a man who was about to kill you, he murmurs. Let that be your lesson, you reply as you gather up your things and head out of the forest, leaving him behind. You have a sense you have made a powerful friend. See, I've played Dragon Age. And in Dragon Age there's a dude called Zevran. And he's an assassin, he comes after you, he tries to kill you. And, long story short, we fucked a lot. Like, a lot. So, here's hoping. I'm not saying all assassins are like that. I'm just saying, you know, here's hoping. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go bleed all over everything. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The Minimite on your shoulder asks. I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way. Not much further. The Minimite sighs and slumps on your shoulder. You continue along the path and around the edge of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows under her house, and the house itself is set on splayed struts like an insect straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. I sort of hoped I had solved this. There are some recommendations on the Steam forums to, like, set anti-aliasing, and it helps, or something, but I set anti-aliasing, and clearly this didn't help. So, maybe if I turn off anti-aliasing completely, you know what? One moment, I'm gonna do something stupid in real time. Program settings. Anti-aliasing off. Apply. Broken hinting. Yeah, that doesn't seem to have done anything. Oh well. Let's just greet the woman. Greetings, you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you? She calls. I can barely see you. Why do I feel like we're going over the cliff like a fucking Mortal Kombat fatality? You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from the step. Come in, please. I get so lonely living out here on my own, away from the villagers. Alright, let's... Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ear. I don't trust this one. Let's just make some conversation. The tea is still hot. You cup it between your hands as you speak. This is a beautiful place, you remark, watching the river outside the door plunging away over the cliff face. This is the top of the crystal waterfall, he says. The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck. She giggles meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. Well, what's your name? They call me Gaza Moon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known, in my way. You nod, but you've never heard of her. Why do you live alone? It must be more dangerous. Oh, she smiles sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they? You can't help but notice she has not answered the question. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she says suddenly, I've forgotten the pot. She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. Alright. Okay. Obviously, this woman is not to be trusted. And obviously, she has poisoned some part of the tea. But she just stopped us from drinking our tea and left the room pointedly. She's obviously expecting us to switch cups. What we gotta do is not switch cups. We just drink our tea. We'll outsmart her. Unless she's poisoned both cups, in which case we die. That'll suck. But I think we got this. Maybe we should just fuck off out of the hut. Unless she's booby-trapped the door. Flagon with the dragon from the... No, yeah, but they changed the flagon with the dragon. Now it's the potion... The pestle with the potion. No, wait. Or did they change the pestle with the potion to the flagon from the dragon? Anyway, I'm gonna drink the tea. You lift your mug, blow away the steam, and take a sip as the old lady returns. The old lady lifts her mug and takes a deep gulp. Your own tea is greatly refreshing. Then she sputters and coughs and grips her side. Uh-huh. She poisoned her own cup, thinking I would switch. I outsmarted her. Nothing bad can happen by putting your lips on a dragon. Saxophone solo. You sit back and watch to see what will happen. She's trying to smile, but the pain is clearly quite severe. Stumbling and almost falling, she staggers to her kitchen and gulps down another drink. When she returns, she seems much better again. I'm not as young as I was, she explains. All the same, she pushes her tea to one side. But tell me about you. You're a traveler? Yes. I'm going to Kari. How delightful! Such a lovely city. Tell me, on your journey, you didn't happen to come across an old man, did you? No. Really, that's a pity. She seems to think for a moment and adds, but do you have anything of a magical nature? Say no and leave. Like, fuck this lady. We're out. No, too risky to carry, you understand. I suppose so, she replies through gritted teeth. Get to your feet. Thank you for the tea. She waves you away without interest. Go on, go on. You step back onto the path. Jan lets out a long sigh of relief. You know, she was one of the most powerful sorceresses in the hills, he whispers. I could smell it on her. You're lucky you got away alive. You shrug. A harmless old lady, and so she seemed. Okay, well, that could have gone better, that could have gone worse, I'm sure. Maybe we should have killed her and taken all of her stuff, I don't know. It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is the village of Torpani, slung from one side of the valley to the next like a flood barrier. Anything interesting about it? Trapani is the village of the Svin, an aggressive-looking race of man-orcs. You might expect their village to be rowdy, but it seems strangely quiet. After that, my only option is go into town. Still, there is no way around it. You'll have to go through. You enter the village. There's a definite air of depression hanging over the place. The Sins are going about their business slowly and miserably and pay you no heed. This village has the depression. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the center of the village to consider your options. All that tea business made me thirsty, actually. I'm gonna hydrate here. Anyway, we need rest before we need anything else. But we could gather I'm gonna gather information. You spy a group of Thins sitting outside a low hut and walk over and sit yourself down. They are discussing a friend apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade. I met this assassin. Yeah, that's a good way to get stabbed. Is that why you're all afraid? We afraid of no thing, retorts one of the Thin furiously, but no, much worse. Another Thin bangs his hand down on the table. But with Esh dead, who saved Tia? Who was Esh? Our greatest. The Thin who says this bangs his chest with a fist and then coughs twice. Good Thin. Tia is Chief's daughter, the other Thin says. Esh was to save her. Now Esh not alive, so Tia soon not alive. What happened to her? Goblins. They sacrifice? Sacrifice? He's unsure of the word, so he mimics a gesture like a stabbing downward knife blade. Yes, sacrifice to great cave demon. Trouble is, another says, our village die if Chief Line end. Tia's end, so if end ends, we end. All very sad. Very sad, they all agree. Who you? One asks suddenly, as if only just thinking of it. He prods you in the chest. I'm a traveler. Traveler? A sly gleam enters the biggest one's eye. Great traveler? I do my best. Best is good. Mickey, Tifa, he signals to the others, who are quick on their feet. Big, hefty arms swinging for you. We take the chief. Before you can resist, they have you and are hauling you bodily onto their shoulders. Jan clings to your shoulders, refusing to be taken free. I haven't used my spirit all book, so we're gonna pray. In a whisper, you begin a prayer to your spirit for aid. Nothing happens immediately. Then you reach a low hut and are thrown to the earth. Your arms and legs are released. Perhaps your spirit has heard you. You cannot be sure. But now that you have summoned the powers above, they will not help you again. Cool. Okay. I'm not sure if that helped. We've been captured again! Yeah! The door is slammed and locked. A moment later, it reopens. And your possessions are thrown inside. Let's eat something. We haven't eaten today. Pulling your knapsack, you pull out the old man's nourishing banba fruit and eat it. Nothing else happens. Let's get some sleep. Figuring they will now probably wait until daylight, you put your head down to sleep. Your dreams are filled with grasping hands and long dark nails scratching at your flesh. And however much you toss and turn on the floor, you cannot quite get them out of your mind. Daybreak. You are still alone. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door to the hut opens, and 5 Sins come in. They drag you roughly out across the street to another hut, where an old man with gray hair sits. He is wearing outlandish, colorful robes. My name's Protheus, Chief. He slaps his chest twice. I apologize. Then he bows, brushing the dirt on the floor of his sleeves. Well, let's not be a douche about this. Apology accepted. The chief nods. He waves to a menial who brings in bread and milk. Hey, free meal. Gratefully, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poisoned and nourishes you. The bowl is removed, and the chief squats down in a pool of cloth. And John cowers under your own cloak, hoping to go unnoticed. I have need of you and your strength. Tell me about it. I shall. My daughter, the child she's taken, offered to a terrible demon below. The goblins. The chief spits at the word. Goblins. He shakes his head as tears well up in his eyes. We were never friends, but we were never enemies like this. I not understand their hate. Why do they care about demons in caves? Alright, if we're supposed to be a hero, we gotta be a hero. I'll save her. The chief wipes away a tear with a clawed finger. He gestures to the other Spins, who, still taking no chances, grab you by your arms and haul you to your feet. You are led along a short pathway to the forest to a crack in the ground. One Spin has brought a rope and another a basket. They are preparing to lower you into the pit of the earth itself. Take the adventure. You wait until they are ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares as they start to lower you down. From your shoulder, John murmurs, we're in trouble now. He shivers. You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You are blind, helpless, and trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Spins shouts something down to you. You crouch down and feel around on your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. You pick it up. It's a drywood torch. Something else falls from above and strikes you on the head. Tinderbox, calls the voice. Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbox. You strike a light, and the torch blazes into flame. You can see now. You are in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the right and left. Left and right. Through an uneven rock fall at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. Let's listen to the rocks. You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is a whimpering, coming from the other end of the pile of stones. The Spin Girl, perhaps. She came in this way, but then the cave vein blocked off her path. You'll have to find another way to reach her. Oh, what did the old guy say? Like, when you're underground, go not right or die or some shit. I didn't write it down. I should have written it down. Well, it's 50-50, you know? Either we die or we don't. I think we go left. You go left and creep slowly into the darkness, ears straining for the sound of approaching threat. But all you can hear is John's quiet whimpering. The passage rises up a gentle incline. At the top, a thick crystal seam glitters in the torchlight, and the tunnel ends in a T-junction. The seam seems to be made of pure diamond. There was no doubt in quest of these that the tunnels were carved. Why is no one mining here now? Can we just dig that out real quick? You try to pry some diamonds loose from the incredible seam in the rock, but your sword is not up to the task, and you would only make it blunt. You could perhaps return with a proper pick, but only if you can escape these tunnels first. Great, we can't mine diamond because we don't have sharp enough tools. This feels weirdly familiar for some reason. Alright, what if we go back, and then go right? You turn back, the square of sunlight lights up the middle of this cave. You push on, further into darkness. The passageway slopes down a short way, then splits. Two stones are stacked on top of each other. Two stones are stacked on top of one another against the wall here. There's nothing special about the two stones, except they happen to be on top of each other. Alright, let's go right again. You turn right. The tunnel twists and bends sharply, as if carved by a river now since long dried away. You lose all sense of which way is which, except to keep going forward, where the passage you are following finishes at another fork. There's a stacked pair of stones here as well. Text fire Minecraft. Oh no. Let's go right again. You take the right-hand tunnel. The going is suddenly more difficult, and you realize the tunnel is climbing at a sharp gradient. Little stones rattle and roll away downwards into the dark. At the highest point, the path you are creeping through forks again. As you enter, two stones roll away down the slope. Keep going right, baby. You move through the opening in the right wall. The cave walls crush in close as though the rock is squeezing you to death. Your shoulders rub against the walls. When you feel certain you can go no further, the winding seam reaches a split. Another pair of stones are stacked in one corner. Keep going right. You follow the passageway when you hear an echo of whimpering coming up the corridor. Your torchlight falls on a frail shape. Hiding in the shadows is the young Sin girl, stacking stones into hundreds of little towers. Cool. Okay. She's the one leaving the stones. Nice. Alright, look for traps. You run the torchlight around the walls of the cavern. No switches or triggers you can see. The girl watches you with silent fear, and then the torchlight falls on a deep scratch in the rock. A claw mark. Suddenly there is a loud roaring from the mouth of this short cavern. The walls begin to shake and crumble. The Sin's toned towers topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rubble begins to open, letting through a mean shaft of light. But before you can head for it, the roaring sound is joined by a scream from the Sin girl. And the text is getting fucky again. You turn slowly and peer into the gloom back along the tunnel. Is there something moving? Something coming closer? Perhaps the roaring is the wind rushing through the tunnels. Has it ever been the wind? It is never the wind. Wind doesn't exist. Wind is a lie perpetrated by Big Monster in order to kill people with monsters. Let's pray to your spirit is far from you. Right, we already used our spirit. Something is coming. Well, yeah, let's go over here. Okay. Ah! You hear the scrabbling sound of claws on a rock, and the exit from the tunnel is blocked by a dark and looming shape. A manticore, huge and terrible. Oh, God. I feel like I'm playing a flash game now. It's a manticore. We're dead. It stands between you and the light and howls in bloody rage. It's fluffy, though. That is a fucking fluffy manticore. Look at the creature, fight the creature, use magic. I would love to use magic, but John blocks that option. So I guess we have to stab it. You draw your sword and close in on the beast. Eyes focus tightly on the terrible sting. Oh shit! It has more health than we do. Let's go all in. Maximum sword, we cannot afford to fuck around. Oh god! The fearsome creature paces forward, teeth bared. You are determined you will not die down here. You plant your feet and ready a mighty sword swing. And, we're gonna die. At the last moment it pounces, takes you by surprise and wide open. The Sin girl screams out in alarm. The vicious creature has wounded you, and crows at its victory with a cackling laugh. I learned nothing. Let's go all in. Shit. Okay. We're gonna descend now? Because we have no strength. Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. The manticore stays low and tries to ram you. For a moment, it's close enough to smell its warm, fetid breath, like cheese. The beast growls at you, and the walls shiver with fury. The Sin girl edges nearer, as if thinking of scratching the creature with her claws. It's scared, she whispers to you. You might not believe me, but you've scared it. Oh yes, I'm sure it's petrified. It's gonna fucking choke on my sword. Block. The creature's relentless assault, its sheer rage is almost too much for you to take. Maximum sword! Hey, we scored some damage. The creature snarls and snaps its jaws. You must finish this monster before it finishes you. For lunch. With the rock wall at your back, you have no way to hide, but a perfect platform to spring forward. You race at the manticore just as it pounds its tail down like a hammer stroke. As it rears, you push its sword up into its exposed belly. You have opened a deep wound in its side, and the Sin girl cheers. A manticore chomps and grinds its teeth, its expression an ugly frown. Alright, we're gonna block, and then we're gonna go in max again. Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. Okay, it is gonna go big. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for it to go really big, and then I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can. 5-9. That is big enough. You stay low. Okay, we're going big. We're gonna die, actually. This defensive shit is not gonna cut it. I do like that it, you know, kicks in the drums anytime we score damage. Standing firm, you swing a mighty stroke against the monster. You cut into it like a butcher. It is injured and angry. And it is gonna kick our ass. Are you sure we can't pray to our god? No. Do we have any items we can use? Any healing that might... One meal, eat. Just gonna stop and eat in the middle of fight. This is Skyrim now. That was only 1 point of health. That was kind of not worth it. We're gonna block, and that's gonna be used up. Yeah. Okay, we block again, and then we go all in. Yeah, 7. We couldn't have beat that. And then we go all in. And I don't think we can make this. Like, even if I play optimally. Go for the throat, the thin girl cries out. I would love to. Yeah, unless, nope. We've lost this. We literally cannot block ever, or we die. And, yeah. Ah, well, we got poison in the brain. Try again. Okay, this time we know, from foreknowledge, that it comes in at like 11 fucking hour. First thing. So, let's block that. And now it has, like, no energy left. So we go all in. Alright. We're doing it. We're making this happen. And then we go all in again, because it will never expect that. You swing a mighty stroke against the monster, catching in the Manacora light blow. It curses you in an almost human tongue. This beast is probably sentient and just hates us. So, let's defend up a little bit. You might not believe me, but you've scared it. I do not believe you, in fact. Alright, we'll take 2 hits. And then we'll go in. We're doing okay. Like it says, we cannot wait forever. We have to do some damage now and again. But we also have to play kind of defensive. Because this thing can tear our ass off. And then beat us to death with the pudgy end. To be honest, every end of my ass is the pudgy end. But let's not get into that right now. I'm gonna descend twice and then go all in again. Yeah, there we go. We used a lot of power there. But we're using a lot of power here. That's another -2. I shouldn't have done that. Block. Block. Alright, in. It's neck and neck, but he has more power than I do. Go for its throat, okay. It's neck and neck, but it has way more neck than me. I gotta play defensive and then get really offensive. You're a jerk. It is dying. Slowly, furiously, but nonetheless it weakens. No, it's okay. You can put the neck away. I don't need it. The thin girl is shaking with fear. You know she has seen heroes defeated before. Yeah? Well, not today. You try something. Charging forward, you race at the manticore. Your sword blade seems almost to be possessed. It finds its way past the manticore's sweeping claws, through its thick hide and down into its ancient cruel heart. For a moment it howls loud enough to make the walls shake, and then everything falls very quiet. 13 stamina lost. Shameful. I suck. But I'm alive. The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quiet breathing of the thin girl. Then the Minimite breaks out into a loud cheer, whooping and punching the air. You bow to him. Thank you, the thin girl murmurs, then tugging at your arm. This way! She leads you towards the light, through a gap in the rocks to the pool of sunlight in the first cavern. You wave the torch, hoping to attract attention. Girl, call to your father. The thin child nods mutely, then bawls at the top of her lungs. Protheus, I'm here! Then something drops down, a rope with basket on the end. Get in together, we'll pull you both up. Send the girl up first. It's the honorable thing to do. You lift the girl into the basket and call up, haul away! The Sins give a great cry and begin to pull, and the basket starts to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears up into the sunlight, then she is gone. A minute passes. Nothing. Call up. Throw down the rope! Nothing. The tunnel echoes very slightly. A noise from the depths. Perhaps the Manticore was not alone. Would they just ditch me here? Would they? They have abandoned you. Left you to your fate, disagreeable creatures. Their promises of gift and rewards were all hollow. Setting down the torch, you begin to try and scale the rocky walls. It's a long and difficult climb, and you are tired. You cannot expect to make it, but you have no choice. Then a shadow falls across the entrance. Are they sealing it up? No! Something falls, the rope in the basket. That read like a neurotic breakdown. Just had a panic attack. You clamber quickly in and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you out on the grass. His daughter is with him, clutching his hand. My daughter tells me you fight bravely. For that, I'm grateful. I invite you back with us, back to Trapani. Will you come? I kinda need the rest. Because I'm like, a little generosity cannot hurt you. You nod. I will come. As you enter the village, it erupts into celebration. Hey, I'm back at full stamina from the start of the book. You are given a place to rest and to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds, and when you emerge, it is to find the village before so somber and silent now in full life. Flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of Sins are playing music on long, strangely shaped lyres. You are whisked away into the dance by Protheus' daughter, before the chief can welcome you to the feast. That night you sleep heavily, and rise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go. My good friend, you have saved us. He presses 2 gifts into your hands, a pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune for a place like this, and a key. This opens the south gate of Kari, he tells you. I hope it is useful. You take your leave. The path winds away from Torpani, and soon you are on a downward slope, away from the Shambutani hills, through stepped rice fields. As you walk, you feel for the first time the loneliness of the path ahead. Though Kari is a busy city, it is cruel, and beyond Kari there is nothing but the vicious wasteland. You will have no one to trust in the days ahead. For a brief moment, up on the hills above the path, you see a figure, stealing its way along by some high and secret route. A figure all in black, but when you shade your eyes against the sun, whatever was there has disappeared. I think I can trust him. I think I can trust, Backstabber, or whatever his name was. In the distance rises the wall of a great city, the first true stonework you have seen since you left home. From your shoulder, you feel John hop away into the air. I didn't mind the Manticore, he says, but this place I'm afraid of. Take care, you'll need it. Then he buzzes away into the sky and is gone. You wonder if you will ever see him again. We just got ditched. Your journey through the Shamontani Hills is complete. Along the way, you have gained the friendship of Flanker the Assassin, and have been given the key to the gates of Kare. You have collected some magical artifacts, a vial of glue, nose plugs, and 4 pebbles. Magical artifacts! Yes! These 4 rocks that are magic. You are still armed only with your original sword, and have 1 ration and 20 gold pieces and a spellbook. The adventure continues in Sorcery 2. Kare, City Port of Traps, out now. I'm gonna save. Cloud save spell name Tevodu, okay. Is it really a cloud save if I get a password for it? Anyway, Sorcery 2 is packaged right in this module. So we're playing Steve Jackson's Sorcery 2. Right now. The Crown of Kings has been stolen by the Archmage and taken across the backlands to Mampang. You have been sent to get it back. Should you fail, the whole of Kakabad will surely fall. From the outpost settlement in Anal Land. That cannot be how you're supposed to pronounce that. You cross the Shamontani Hills. Along the way, you spared the life of a defeated assassin, traveled with a Mennonite who almost cost you your life, and fought and killed the dreaded Manticore. You faced starvation and deadly traps. To survive, you used your blade rarely and your intelligence frequently, but you always acted with honor and compassion. Your spirit guide changed as you changed, becoming the gorilla. I don't know what that means. But now all of that seems a distant memory, for you are approaching Kare, the city port of traps! Founded on a ford of the Jibaji River, Kare was once a camp for the pirates who ambushed merchants, sailing from Lake Lumini to the sea. But the camp grew, it became a village. The village became a town, and now Kare is a magnet for ne'er-do-wells and thieves, ruled over by a council of villains. Well, let the city do its worst. It is a place of treachery and traps. You'll have to watch your every stride as you cross. Your goal is the North Gate, the only entrance to the Bachlands in the next stage of your journey. For the good of the kingdom, you must enter the city port of traps and make it out alive. So we begin the second module. Adventure Module A02. Gary Gygax's Trap Festival. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Alright, before we get moving, let's scout the landscape. We're floating in a big void. Wow. That's cool. Alright, Gardens, the Necropolis. Obviously, we want to head for the Necropolis and rob a bunch of graves. That's a hero thing to do. Festival of Thieves. That seems like a bad place to go. Halls of Vlado. Vlado sounds like a name we can trust. And we're headed for the North Gate, so... Palatine Hill. Somehow Palatine returned. Obviously where we want to be is this little maze up here. Oh wait, that's like the artist's signature, never mind. Okay. Well, we can't know where we're going until we get there. But... at least we have our magical fucking pebbles. I'm so excited by that. And a locket. That's right, we picked up a locket, and it's not treasure. 20 gold pieces. We only have one ration. We're gonna have to remedy that. Alright. Twilight. Already. The great city of Kare has loomed large on the horizon all day, but has been slow to reach, the path tracing great loops back and forth through a deep and narrow pass. You have not seen a living soul except once, when a dark figure raced across the hilltops overhead and then was lost from view. This is the first game to emphasize that you see, like, a dark and shadowy guy following you, and, like, I'm like, oh, good. He's still around. Cool. I'm glad that guy survived. So you are naturally cautious when you round a bend in the path and see a beggar, crouched low against a rock, muttering to himself. Alright, this is a city of thieves. We cannot help anybody. We have to just accelerate as fast as possible through this. The fewer interactions we have with people, the less chance we have to get robbed. You stop out of sight behind an outpost, but the beggar does not look like much of a threat. Try and slip past. There is no way to go around the beggar in the narrow path, but you determine to keep your head low and move quickly. He does not notice you until your shadow crosses his face. Then he leaps to his seat, drawing a short stick from inside his cloak. Who goes there? What's your business in Kare? I'm a traveler. The man pokes his stick at you. A traveler? Traveling where? Kare. Obviously Kare, but why? He prods harder. Answer me or you'll face the consequences. What consequences? Better you don't find out, he replies darkly. I am the city guard. No one enters Kare except through me. And then, despite his age and clear ill health, he comes at you, waving his stick. Okay, I don't want to start this by murdering a fucking beggar, man. That is bad karma. Why would you do this to me? I won't fight you. You are unarmed. He waves the stick close to your face, jabbing a few times, but you push the point aside with one hand. Alright then, he declares, we'll settle this fairly. He tosses the stick to one side and raises his fist. The knuckles are black with scabs. He's punched people before, and he will punch people again, but I'm not gonna fight him. I still won't fight you. I mean it. The beggar makes a braying noise like a laugh, and then lamps you on the nose. It is surprisingly painful, and he is readying for another swing. Step away. You step back, and with that, the fight seems to drain from him. He sits down again, suddenly sad. Very well, he moans. You're right, I suppose. I can't defend the city on my own. You'll get yourself killed. Oh, no, he replies. That's exactly what won't happen. If that was my fate, it would have happened a long time ago. Oh. He shivers. You don't have any food, do you? I have one ration left. I have one ration left. Motherfucker. You rummage in your pack and pull out a hunk of bread and cheese. Here. The man grabs it and eats gleefully like a wild dog. He murmurs and grumbles to himself as he does so. Good luck. He nods to you, mouth still full. And to you. He screws up his brows for a moment of concentration. And listen, there are archers on the walls. The watchword is Cantapane. You thank him and take your leave. The path winds through gorse and thick grass. Kare squats in a basin in the hills like a stagnant, festering pool. You turn one corner, then another, and then the stone walls of the city are looming over you. Talking to people will provide clues to help you on your quest. You can review your clues on the inventory screen. You have found one new clue. Oh. Hey, we learned how to get in the city without dying. If there's one thing fairy tales impressed upon me as a kid, it's be born last. Like, the youngest kid is always supposed to, solve all the problems. If there's two things that impressed upon me, though, it's share whatever you got, even if it hurts. And I'm starting to wonder if those fairy tales were propaganda by Big Fairy Tale to get more shit out of poor people. But, that's neither here nor there. Before the entrance is a wide open area that will take a few minutes to cross. You could scramble up the slope to the right to get a better view of the wall. Nope, let's just walk into the clearing. You step out of the path into the clearing. An arrow whizzes past your shoulder. You look up to see a guard on top of the wall who cocks a second arrow to his bowstring. Who goes there? Friend or foe? I don't know you, man. Neither? Neither! The guard seems to consider your answer for a moment, then cocks an arrow and lets it fly. Thankfully, you're far enough away it falls well short. You have the watchword. Cantapani, you call. The guard considers this for a moment and lowers his bow. Approach, he calls. The south gate stands before you. It is as tall as 2 men, and would be broad enough to ride 3 horses through if only it were open. But instead it is locked, and there is no other way into the city. Luckily, of course, you have a key. You remove the thin key from your pack and slip it into the lock. The tumblers turn as the tumblers click as the key turns. You wait a moment, heart pounding in your chest. Has anyone heard you? You hear nothing through the door. You slip through the gate and it slams shut behind you, key still in the lock. Whoever the next ruffian to visit Kare may be, he will be grateful for your little gift. A moment later, 2 guards appear around the corner of the yard. Strong, expert hands grab your wrist. You are dragged, pulled, and forced into a low stone building just by the gate. Man. Hashtag fuck the police. They will never help you. Straight to jail. Awesome. Who wants to bet we lose all our gold? The door of the stone building is slammed and the lock turns over behind you. You look around. The walls are stone and the windows are barred. A bench against one wall is the only piece of furniture where an old man sits. He's dressed in dirty robes and seems in a sorry state. Well, let's say hi. You step towards the shadowy bench. Greetings, old man. He ignores you. He is concentrating hard on something on the ground just in front of him. A collection of small stones scattered as though for a fortune-telling. After a moment, he gathers them up and tosses them again. You notice his other hand is missing completely. The left sleeve of his tunic hangs limp by his side. Good morning, Windchaser. Let's look at these stones. You step over to peer at his stones, but he snatches them up into his palm. If you want to play, he says defensively, then you have to bet. Play what? Why, swindle stones, of course. That's a game with a name you can trust. Alright, what is swindle stones? Stranger in town, don't know how to play, better and better. He shows you one of the stones. It is a strange 4-valued die. Sit! He pats the bench beside him with one hand. Play, we can talk while I beat you. Well, you'll have to teach me the rules. My lucky day, he grins with his one remaining tooth. It's easy. We each roll our dice in secret, but we bet on what we've rolled in total. You call if you think the other player has bid too high. The loser gives away a die. This is their commentary on Gwent. When was Gwent? When did Gwent come out? Because this was 2016. Alright, let's look at swindle stones. The old man drops 4 dice into your palm and sweeps away a patch of dust on the bench for you to play. I'll go first, he says, waving his hand. Show you how it's done. The game is simple. We roll and bet on what's come up. So, for instance, I might start and bet that between us, we've rolled at least 2 ones. But we don't know what's on the table. So, I'm guessing 2 twos, I guess. I can't change that, so... If you believe my bid is too high, you call. We check. Otherwise, we keep bidding higher and higher. Bid 3-2. Okay. 2015? It might be. And now I think you've bid too high, so let us see who wins. There are 3 2s. The round is yours. Cool. So, I guess I have to play this. So, what's your name? And I cannot change my bet at all. So... doomed. Well, now, a name's a powerful thing. How's that? Here's a bid. I really wish... oh, I can move it by holding this down and moving... okay. I have to drag. Okay, he's bidding, 2 2s. I have 2 2s. I'm gonna bid 3 2s. He bids 4 2s. He raises to 4 2s. Do I think it's feasible that there are 4 2s? I'm gonna call. There are 4 2s. The old man wins. I lost a die. I'll start with 1 4. Well, I bid 2 3s. Well, then 2 4s. How about 3 1s? Call. Nope. What's a 2 for? $20, same as in town. So yeah, I'm gonna lose this round because I cannot do dice bluffing. Don't you want to get out of here instead of just playing dice? Have you seen the room prices in Kare? No, I suppose you haven't. So you like being locked up. I keep on thieving, don't I? Got an itchy hand, me. And getting caught. Only 2 1s. Round's mine. So what did they get you for? I like how the claims get more extravagant the higher up you go. I am a murderer. 2 4s. And a liar, I'd say. Nope. 1 4. Let me see. What happened to your arm? Well, on the guards, if that's what you're worrying about. Glad to hear it. I miss the white with the greens on my dinner plate. Yeah, there was too much paprika. I used to be a traveler, then I met this ogre in the Shanker Mines. Oh, you got shanked. That's the game, and you lost. The old man pockets his dice once more and stretches back, cheerful as victory. I thought you were a bit slow. I kind of want a rematch, now that I actually understand the game. Good, I've been going easy on you. Alright. Just the one rematch, though. So where are you headed when you get out of here? The North Gate. The North Gate? Now, why would you ever go to the North Gate? No one goes there. It's my business, not yours. Oh. There are 5 2s. He wins. I'm an idiot. But I'm a happy idiot. I'm betting 2 4s. What do you know about the north gate of the city? No ordinary lock. It's withered locked with a spell, and only the first noble knows it. I better find him then, hadn't I? He wins the round. I am slowly losing out on options here. Better here than where I spent last night. Where was that? You don't know the half of it. I spent last night in the sewers. Ah. 3 twos. What are you doing in a sewer? Moving around until I get caught. Moving around, not getting caught until I got caught, that is. Aha! I won. No, I didn't. Actually. Fuck. Let me see. I'm gonna bluff on, 2 ones. Tell me about the lock on the north gate. They say this spell is 4 lines and 4 nobles know 1 line each. I'd try to find them. 3 fours. Who are these nobles? You'll have to figure that out for yourself. Alright, we've learned a lot. I think. I think we've learned all we need to know. Particularly about the North Gate. So, thanks for the game. I see I have a little still to learn. The pleasure was mine, the old man says, putting his dice back into his pocket. He leans against the stonework and hums to himself. You found 2 new clues and another clue has been updated. I want to check out these clues. 4 nobles know the spell. The first noble knows all. Alright, the first noble knows the entire spell. The other 3 know pieces of it. We gotta fuck with the nobles, apparently. That's gonna be rough. I'm not good with nobility. I'm a scruffy-looking nerf herder, is what I am. Well, let's kick back and wait. You settle down to wait. Hours pass, but the guards do not return. Night falls and you stretch out on the floor to rest. No doubt when the guards come in the morning, you'll be able to persuade them of your innocence. You've already eaten today, so you're quite comfortable. Soon you're feeling sleepy. Across the room, the old man is already dozing, or pretending to doze, wrapped in his rags. Can you afford to sleep? What if he attacks you overnight, or what if the guards come? I trust this old man, who is an admitted thief. An admitted repeat thief. And who tried to swindle me. You shake away your fears. If something happens, you will simply have to wake up. But for now, you put your head down and try to rest. Your dreams, when they come, are of the wall. Like a towering monster drenched in moss and slime. The gate, its wide open maw. On its back is a host of guards, chanting a mantra too quietly for you to hear. Meanwhile, the one-armed prisoner throws the knuckles of his missing hand onto the bench over and over, calling endlessly to himself. And it is as though you can see the crown, sitting in the dust on the far side of the north gate, so close yet out of reach. Come sunrise, you feel better for the night under shelter. As you wake, you hear a sound at the door. The guards! They must be satisfied that you are no threat, as they open the door and shove you and the old man out in the morning sunshine. I won't miss you, the old man declares as he strides away. You watch him walk off and are reminded of your suspicions about his honesty. Your distrust turns to certainty and you check your pack. It's hard to be sure exactly, but searching through, your pebbles seem to have gone missing. You shout after the old man to slow down, but he is some way ahead now and has reached another junction and turned right. Oh no, my magic rocks. Not my locket, or my sword, or my 20 bucks, or my nose plug. Well, okay, you can keep that. But my magical rocks. At the end of the yard, the road splits. Looking left to see the guard lined up in rows, running drills. Best not to head that way. To the right, the road leads toward the first buildings of Kare. Alright. You follow the road away from the yard along the bottom of a cliff edge. Look up. Carre is built on a series of natural steps. In the past, the river flooded every autumn, drenching the land and keeping it fertile. But since the city was raised and the river dammed, the floods have stopped. Now the trees look thin and skeletal, and the soil underfoot is like dust. Suddenly, something erupts from the tree line overhead and rolls down the slope just in front of you. It is a body! Let's not walk up and start kicking the body with the guards drilling right on the road right behind us. You hang back, watching the body. A black elf from the look of it bumps and batters its way down the slope to land in a rough heap. Leave it. Not our business. There is nothing to be done. You are too late to help. You continue along the path. You pass an inn closed up for the daytime before reaching a crossroads. We already got arrested once. If we fuck around with too much stuff, we're probably gonna get arrested again. And we need to save our fucking around with stuff for the nobles. We need to rip them off. You reach a junction where 3 roads begin. These are the outskirts of Carre. Huts huddle like beggars on either side of the tracks, leading uphill into the city port. Let's keep moving. You catch sight of the old man disappearing into the hut on the left side of the right track. Left-hand side of the right track. Just at that moment, a cart rolls down the road from the right and careens around the corner to take the main track ahead. On its back are stacked several crates. One teeters for a moment, then falls near your feet, its lid cracking open. Merchandise literally falling off the back of a truck in front of us. This feels so much like a setup. We're just moving. We're just moving. Trust nobody. You leave the crate in the mud. Other poorer creatures can have the salvage. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's just go. You follow a group of youngsters with packs up the road. Homes, hovels line the track, and strange faces appear at the windows, watching you as you pass. Then, from around the bend ahead, a group of guards appear. Blend in with the youngsters. You stride quickly forward to join the group of lumpsters and attempt to mimic their way of walking. The group are talking about where they will stay, the Wayfarer's Rest or the Meat and Cleaver. Let's not speak. I'm just trying to get through this with my head intact. So, listen, don't speak. You stay silent. But of course you are a head taller than the youngsters nearby, and you carry yourself with the bearings of a great sorceress. It is no deception at all. Hey, you! One of the guards grabs you by the arm. Don't I know your face from someplace? Maybe? Yes? The guard is surprised by your answer. I am your wife's lover. I can't not. The guard can't believe his ears, neither can his fellows, who claps into fits of laughter. I bet she is, too, one cries. Tough-looking lady like that. The guard you've insulted heeds his friend's warning and lets go of your arm. You just watch yourself, he says, or the red eyes will cut out your tongue. Then the guard patrol troops off down the street. You breathe a deep sigh of relief. A pleasant herbal smell drifts from the doorway of a nearby hut. Being a gremlin paid off! But we are a great sorcerer. Power word, I fucked your wife. Okay, you know what our new mission is. We gotta find this guy's wife. We gotta live up to our promise. Anyway, we could go into the hut, but again, I just want to accelerate and not get caught again. You continue up the narrow road. It is packed on either side with mud brick hovels, for most are deserted. A few creatures pass by, heads turned down. They do not look at you. This part of the city port is barely habited, and certainly not somewhere the nobles will be found. But you may be able to learn some useful information from inhabitants all the same. You pass a drinking fountain dribbling water into a chipped stone bowl. Let's stop somebody and talk. You stop a stoop orc-like creature. Is the drinking water safe? Most important thing to ask in a new town. The creature looks at the fountain and blinks in surprise. I hope so, he says. I've drunk from it every day of my life. The creature looks uncomfortable to be talking with you. Okay, enough talking. Let's not make him uncomfortable. Nod to the creature, thank him, drink from the fountain. You lean down by the fountain and cup your hand to drink. The water tastes cool if herbal. Perhaps something is growing in it. You swallow boldly. If the fountain is still running on a busy street like this, it can't be too poisonous. In fact, the water seems quite fresh, and you swallow a few more mouthfuls, finding you had not realized how thirsty you were. There's nothing else to do here. You continue up the road. Delicious plant water. It's rich with algae. Whales live on that. No, whales live on, plankton. Never mind. This part of town feels abandoned, like the drying strip of sand left behind by a falling tide. A bit further on, the road approaches the first stone building you have seen since the hut by the gates. It has windows of glass and a wide yard inside its uneven high wall. Whoever lives here is wealthy and understandably cautious. They have, however, left a fine stallion only loosely tied up outside. Oh. A wealthy house. Hey, this is probably the noble's place. Let's break in. Fuck this guy's wife. You step through a gate of the house into its wide open yard. It was once a magnificent place, with fish ponds now stagnant, fountains now cracked and dry, and small groups of quiet trees now overgrown and gnarled like whispering old men. The building itself has fared no better. One side has collapsed in on itself completely, and the other leans perilously to one side. Okay, maybe there's no noble here. Look at the trees, approach the building, look at the fountains. Are those my only options? Yeah. Let's try the fountains. One of the fountains is still bubbling by the side of the building. Yeah. The water here is probably pumped directly from the sewers. You do not drink. Alright, let's head for the building. You stride up to the middle of the yard when suddenly something knocks into you from behind, sending you sprawling across the dirt. You spin around to see a giant bat towering over you, its clawed wings spread wide with bloody talons. We're gonna cast a spell. Create explosions requires a pebble. Shit, our pebbles got stolen. Mud will not create quicksand. That won't help. Cast slowness. You cast a spell and the bat begins to move extremely slowly, its wings beating like the waving of a flag in a vague breeze. Somehow it still manages to stay airborne, but it will be much easier to kill now. Look at it, it's tiny! This is a giant bat? It's got a horn. It's a unibat. A batacorn. Alright, let's give it about half power. The bat's great wings buffet at your face, making it hard to see, but it is moving slowly. You slash out at the creature, planning to cut off its wings, as the bat dodges back, cutting with the hooks on its wingtips. Again, about half power. Another chance follows. Pushing off a tree trunk, you thrust forward, catching the giant bat wide open as it slowly tries to escape. And one more time. The creature is now afraid. Swinging up from a low crouch, you aim for the beast's heart, almost slicing off the bat's stinging talons. The giant bat can barely stay in the air. There we go. No stamina lost, flawless fighting. You turn to face the house once more. The front door is wide as two men and stands imposingly sealed. A small path winds around the back of the house. Okay, I think we can head for the back of the house. We could unlock the door with a lock spell, but you follow the path around the back of the building. The rear is boarded up and secure. Yeah, why was a fine stallion tied up in front of this wreck? That is a very good question, and I don't know the answer. We could rewind and check out the horse. We could follow this path through the back, but I want to go back to the yard. We're going to try the front door. You are getting diverted. Wandering off through the empty fields of Kare is unlikely to help you in your search. You stride up the steps to the door of the grand house. Try the door. Locked, of course. Alright. It's locked. Let's, open lock. But a locked door is of no consequence. Once you have woven your spell, the great oak door complains once and then gives way, swinging open to reveal a dark hallway beyond. There's gotta be something expensive in this house if that horse is tied up out there. Unless the horse is an illusion. You creep and step inside the great old house. A cold silence descends, quite different from the dusty heat outside. This place feels like it has not been lived in for decades, though judging by the lack of dust, it may not have been so long. Floorboards creak underfoot. At the end of the hallway is a sealed door. Then a chink of light is visible beneath the frame. The light beneath the door flickers. Now bright,
frozen
now
water.
faint, as though a figure paced back and forth, its shadow coming and going. You hear no footsteps. You make your way along the corridor. The walls on either side are lined with large portraits of dusty-looking men and sour-faced women who sneer at you as you pass. You ignore them and keep going. You pass a large metal coal scuttle sitting against the left-hand wall. You leave it behind and head down the corridor. I'm not getting distracted. You reach the far end of the hall. It is only a short way from the entrance, but now all is in shadow. The only light comes from the gap around the frame of the door in front of you. More darkness wells up to the right. You can make out the first few steps of a flight of stairs leading upward to the second level of the house. Let's not go bug the ghost or whatever. Let's head upstairs. You place your foot on the first step of the stairwell, and suddenly it begins to move. Is it alive? Some kind of thin, flat beast, or is it a trap? Let's stand on it. You stop dead as the stair moves under you and try to balance. It is not easy. You are definitely rising into the air and curving around the bends in the staircase as you go. As you reach the top, you see a corridor approaching, almost close enough to jump for. Almost close enough to jump for isn't close enough to jump for. Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Let's wait a little bit longer. You wait a moment longer. The stair beneath your feet continues to rise. What will happen when it reaches the top? Will it crush you against the ceiling? Oh, well, now I'm curious. What will happen? Let's find out. You hold your nerve and wait a moment longer until the step reaches the top of the stairwell, and then stops. You step easily onto the upstairs landing. Yeah, that's called an elevator, my dude. Well, escalator, I suppose, if it's stairs. Reverse swamp energy. Yeah. This just takes you where you want to go. You look around. You are on an upstairs landing with doors on either side. There's a library and a bedroom. Oh, man. Let's hit the bedroom. The library, we'll come back for it if we can. No, you know what? I don't know. I see this bathroom here, and I think maybe it's an escape route. Like we can go out the window or something. But then there's a ladder in the corner of the library. I don't know which. Anyone have a strong opinion on this one? First response gets it. The library. Alright, we're hitting the library. We're hitting the books. Might be a spellbook, that's true. This is a library, in darkness. At the far end, a pair of eyes stare back at you. Look at the eyes. You step forward boldly, your own eyes fixed on those across the room from you. They do not blink. They do not even move as you approach. This is a mirror, isn't it? Show it you mean no harm. You raise your hand to indicate you mean no harm. You mean no harm. The eyes do not react. Then you see why. They are the eyes of a large portrait that hangs over the far wall, in shadow but for a dim sunbeam falling through the gap in the roof above. Alright, the only thing in here is a painting. Maybe it's Dorian Gray. If we stab it, he'll die. The painting is of a proud and stern-looking man dressed in loose leather armor, with a serpent emblem stitched along the length of one arm. The painting fills the entire wall of the room, and must be twice the height of the man who posed for the likeness. I'm getting real sick of this guy. Look at the man. You step back a little to regard the man in the picture. The most striking thing about him are his eyes. Cold and cruel, they seem to gleam with cunning and the will to survive. They are the eyes of a man who would harm you if it suited him, knowing full well what it was he did. Otherwise, he stands tall and proud, one hand on the hilt of a sword and the other wielding a tiny dagger. Everything about him reeks of power and threat. The picture must be of the man that lived in this house. For anyone else, it would surely cast too long a shadow to live beneath. That is a good line. The eyes of the painting seem to follow you as you move. Alright, what's behind the painting? You raise one corner of the frame from the wall and peer behind it, but it's too dark to see if anything is hidden there. You grab the base of the painting between outstretched hands, then heft the frame up and off the hook that holds it to the wall. There's a moment when you think you have it under control. Then you're holding the true weight of the picture and begin to stagger backwards. Control it. Try and control it. You backpedal across the room, trying to keep your balance. The painting threatens to topple at any moment. If you can just get turned around, you'll be able to lean the painting against the wall. Step backwards and to the right. You step backwards and to the right, and suddenly your foot is in space. You have stepped backwards out of the door into the stairwell. The next moment you are falling, the painting tumbling down on top of you. I cannot escape being a cartoon character, can I? It's my lot in life. You hit the lower landing with your head through the canvas, dazed but still in one piece. You fight your way out of this painting like with a spider web and get back on your feet. The way upstairs is now firmly blocked. The frame of the painting fills the stairway, and the image itself is in tatters. You know what? We're gonna roll with it, but if we ever need to rewind, I know where I'm rewinding to. I just... Alright. Well, for hell, after that, let's head into the study. You push open the door and enter a wide, parallel room with a thick carpet. A wide paneled room with a thick carpet. It is a study of some kind. The source of the light under the doorframe becomes quickly apparent. A roaring fire burns in an enormous grate on one side of the room. Let's just take a look around. You search the room. The furniture is grand, carved and stained and inlaid with patterns of goblin bone, but there are no possessions to be seen, no ornaments, no jewels, no treasure, no sign of the owner. It is as though whoever lived here had moved out, or, more likely, as if the place had been thoroughly robbed. With the door shut, you would expect this room to be swelteringly hot, but like the rest of the house, it is icy cold. Why isn't the fire hot? You go over to the fire to warm your hands, only to find it emits no heat at all. It burns no fuel, either. The enormous grate, large enough to roast a whole boar, is entirely empty of wood, ash, or coal. But the flames are nonetheless brilliant and high as a man. anything that would put out a fire? No, that creates a force field. Summon darkness. I don't think that would do anything. Protection from magic. This seems useful. You cast a spell and a veil of magical protection settles around you. Should any enchantment attack, you will be well protected as long as this spell lasts. Okay. I was hoping to reach into the fire. No, we're rewinding here, because that's not what I expected there. I wanted to cast a magical protection spell and then touch the fire. But it was just like, you can leave the room. Alright, let's reach into the fire. You reach out a hand for the flames. They crackle and dance, and you expect a searing heat at any moment. Nothing happens. All you feel is the draught rising up the chimney. You step back. The fire is merely an illusion. Well then, let's, stealing your courage, you duck your head and step into the grate. The flames surround you, their crackles whispering in your ears as though you stood in a pit of snakes. But you feel no heat, your skin does not blister, and your clothes do not ignite. You stand in the middle of the fire like some kind of demon and feel no ill effects at all. From here you can see the hearth extends backward much further than you might expect. Is it a tunnel? Or do you stand inside a trap its jaw is about to spring open? Pronounced like draft. Okay. You creep forward across the grate, through the flames and beyond, into a low stone alcove hidden by the fire. The walls are made of solid slabs of stone, and there is nothing here. No treasure, no secret doors. On the far wall are a strange set of markings. A series of long grooves, like scratches, radiating outward from a small hole. You run your finger through the grooves in the stone wall. They have been carved lightly and roughly with a dagger point rather than chisel, perhaps. But the small hole in the center is more clearly formed. You put one finger into the small hole. Why would you do that? You cannot find the bottom of it, and it feels smooth, polished and smooth. It looks like the boat hole you might find in the stonework of a fortress doorway, except for its position, in the middle of a blank wall. A keyhole? You look through your pack for something to use as a key, but you find nothing. Well, is this a door? If so, maybe we can, You cast a spell across the grooved wall in front of you, but nothing happens. Perhaps it's not a door after all, or perhaps it's locked with a fearsome magic your spell cannot overcome. It is impossible to be sure. Do we have any other spells that aren't... Nothing that starts with T. Sense danger. I mean, we could cast sus. This is pretty sus. Find safe passage. That's gonna tell us to leave. We could fireball it. That seems fucking stupid. No, I don't think there's anything here that will help. We're gonna have to walk out. Alright, so this was a big distraction. There is nothing here. So I'm gonna rewind to when we went to the library. And this time I'm gonna try not to die. I'm gonna try not to get hit by the painting. Alright, show you mean no harm. Go to the painting. Look at the man. Look behind it. Lift it down. If there's nobody else in the house, I don't know if we have to keep this painting intact, so let's just dump it. You let go of the painting and it crashes to the floor, landing on your foot. Ah! You howl in pain as the painting teeters and tilts until it is leaning once more against the wall. I can't. I just can't. You look over the wall where the painting had hung, but there is nothing else of interest, just its dark outline. Motherfucker! All that. All. This house is a red herring, isn't it? This house is a giant red herring. You step through the doorway into a simple bedroom. The bed is unmade and looks as if its owner left in a hurry. Personal effects are scattered all over the floor as if the place had been ransacked. Which it probably was. A cane leans by the bedside. You see nothing else of interest. The cane is a simple, straight stick, with a leather loop at the top to slip around the wearer's waist. It does not look like any sort of weapon, and it does not appear to be magic. Take it anyway. I'm getting something out of this. You take it, although you cannot think what it may be for. A second... A simple, straight stick. We can put that in the hole. Stick the cane in the hole. That's it. That's it. Alright, let's look a little further in. Let's check out the bathroom. Leads to a bathroom. There's nothing in it. Not even a mirror. Only a gap where one used to hang. The only fixture is an empty iron bathtub in the middle of the floor. There's like a rat under it. It'll bite us in the nose. Let's just fucking leave. Okay. Let's... Oh my god, what happened? Okay, we're gonna head back downstairs. Go into the fire. Trigger this... whatever's in there. Reach into the fire. It's an illusion. Step in. End of the tunnel. Feel the grooves. Examine the hole. It's a keyhole. Insert the walking cane. You raise the walking cane and slip the tip into the small hole in the back of the fireplace. It fits perfectly. There's a click. For a moment, nothing happens, and then very slowly the stones begin to move. A passageway is open to your left. You peer through the secret passage, but can make out nothing but darkness beyond. You will have to go inside to find out what you have discovered. Alright, secret room, baby. Let's go. Slipping through the narrow opening, you find yourself in a slightly wider space. The walls are cool stone and there are no windows. But the room is not dark. In one corner, an idol stands on a small shrine lit by 2 candles, which burn with thin, cold flames. This place reeks of death and decay. The shrine is covered in thin, blood-soaked strips of cloth. Yeah, we found a cult headquarters. We're gonna die. Look at the cloth. The bandages are each an arm span long and deep as your thumb. Each is bloodied into 2 spaces, spaced a few finger widths apart. There are 30 or 40 such bandages here, running down from the shrine like streamers. Someone was injured for a long time. Search the bandages. Something gleams from within the pile, and you uncover a silver badge. It is the badge of a noble of Kare. Take it. The badge is solid silver and probably valuable to its owner should you encounter them. You place it carefully in your pack. You glance behind you, suddenly terrified the secret door might swing shut and leave you trapped in this place. The shrine is poor and cheap, unlike everything else in this house. It seems to have been hastily built out of uneven stones and a plank of wood, and a small statue of a fat god that sits on it has been molded from humble clay. You are starting to get the jitters down here. You know what? I'm gonna listen to my heart. We found a noble's badge. That's huge. Let's get out of here. You slip back out of the small room, out of the fireplace, into the hallway. Yeah, let's get the fuck out. There does not seem to be anything more left here to be discovered. Get the fuck out. The house is home now only to ghosts. You hurry back out of the door into the sunshine of the front garden. Outside the house, the sun is shining brightly. It is almost the hottest hour of the day. There is nothing more to do here. We can no longer go around the back of the house, so we have to leave. You head through the front yard of the ruined house and out into the main street. The horse at the post whinnies and shakes its mane. Yeah, what the hell is with this horse? You approach the horse. It snorts nervously, wary of your presence. You might be able to calm it or even talk to it with the correct spell. We do a spell for talking to animals, don't we? Zap, hot, dumb. Doze, dud. Well, we have a mind-reading spell, but we don't have a spell cap. It doesn't look like we've got whatever it takes to... Zed, this is the most formidable spell in lore, but no one knows why. In all recorded history, this spell has been cast only once, by a powerful necromancer from Throbet who was never seen again. Its effects are unknown. The necromancer's notes were found, but were crazed and unclear. Treat with extreme caution. Well, our goal is to cast the Zed spell as soon as possible. But I don't see anything that looks like talking to animals. Oh well. Talk to the horse. You try a few words in the common tongue, and then a few, whispered, in the more gentle language of your girlhood in Chawbury Wood. The animal listens with its ears cocked, giving you a strange, distant look, but of course it does, into the horse. Still, it appears calmer in your presence now. Perhaps you have made a friend. We could steal the horse, but I think riding around on a stolen horse would attract the attention of the guard. I have no idea why this horse is here. You do not need a horse in Kari anyway, so you step away from the horse and leave it to itself. You follow the road past the grand house. A side road appears on the left. Nope, no side roads. We're moving on. You keep moving. As you press on up the road, you notice the huts on either side are getting smaller. The roadway is now bustling with dwarves and other small fellows. It seems from the contemptuous looks you are receiving that the inhabitants of this sub-hamlet are not kindly disposed towards human-sized outsiders. Keep going or walk on my knee. This is just a bastard move. This is mockery. You walk on, smiling down at the people you pass. You reach the middle of the dwarf ghetto, a small square with a general store off to one side. Further up the street, you see a small crowd gather around two scuffling creatures. Crowd? You push your way through the small crowd. In the center, two tiny creatures are grappling with each other. One is the pixie, the other the sprite. The onlookers are fascinated, some cheering on the pixie, others rooting for the sprite. You appear to have caught the end of the sprite. The sprite looks almost exhausted. It's a bit late to bet, then. You watch the fight. It doesn't last long. The sprite goes for the pixie with a tiny arm lock. The pixie ducks, spins around with a flying high kick, and knocks the sprite reeling backward across the dirt. With a hop, skip, and a jump, the pixie is sitting on the fallen sprite's chest with two fingers up its nostrils. Do you yield? It squeaks. The other creature makes a yelping noise, presumably a yes. The crowd cheers, and the decks are settled up. Eventually, the crowd disperses. Okay. We need food. We need food badly. And I'm sure that there will be other stores, but This is the first one that presents itself. You duck your head to squeeze through the doorway of the dwarf store. The proprietor is a stocky type with advanced years who peers at you through a pair of bottle glass spectacles, balanced on a long and gnarly nose. "You're not a dwarf," he observes, cheerfully enough as you enter. "I want to look around." The dwarf shrugs. "Then look away if you've got enough room to turn that big empty head of yours." You browse the shelves of the shop. Gauntlets, a potion of mystery, provisions, honeycomb of beeswax. That's a thing. What is beeswax for? Make my blade super sharp. Do double its normal damage. That's nice. Small vial of dust. I feel certain that's for something too. Violet glue, medicinal potion, pebble, sand. Maybe it's sand. We might be able to cast mud. Could be stone dust, which will allow us to petrify something. Let's start with provisions. 3 gold pieces per meal. Looks like he has 4 meals worth on his shelf. Let's buy 3. The dwarf points at the vial of dust. "You should consider buying that. No one else has." "Okay. 3 gold pieces, but you cannot tell what it is." "Buy it." It does not contain dust, but sand. You know what? That's fine. We can use sand. What are the selection of gauntlets? Chainmail and leather. 5 gold pieces for either. Chainmail is hard to make, but leather is harder to come by. Aren't these dwarf-sized? Which one should I buy? The dwarf looks at you and thinks for a moment, though considering your character. "Leather," he says eventually. If these are dwarf-sized gauntlets, I'm gonna rewind. Because they're not gonna fit on my fucking hands. You hand over 5 gold pieces and place the leather gauntlets onto your wrist. You suddenly feel more skillful and proficient in your sword arm. Is that sensation an illusion? You cannot be sure. You're running short on funds. "Yeah, let's save our last 3 gold. "That's enough for me," you say. The dwarf nods. "Pleasure doing business with you," he replies. You head back out to the sunlight, stretched to your full height. Okay, pouch of sand, nose plugs, leather gauntlet, question mark. Yeah, I was hoping that it might tell me what they were, but no. Keep moving. You follow the road up a gentle rise toward a building with a large domed roof. All the various alleys seem to converge on it, and it's thronged with people. From here, it seems there is no way around. The road becomes narrower as the slum dwellings either side become more built up. Finally, it opens onto a small plaza. In the shade of the large dome building, it's some kind of sprawling covered market. Looking left and right, you see other roads entering the building through different archways. A group of serpent heads are just passing by. You stop one. "Greetings, what is this place?" The serpent head looks back at you unimpressed. "It is the artist's quarter. They have to have a roof over them or their paint's run and they complain." "Nothing worse than a complaining artist," replies the second creature. "Hey, thank you." "You're welcome," replies the first serpent head, who appears to speak quite normally. "But I'll give you a tip. Don't pose for any pictures. You'll regret it." With that, the serpent heads march away inside the building. The market seems a confusing place. Various tracks head off into bushes near the walls. You may be able to find a way around it after all. Okay, We've only got 3 gold. Let's not bother with the marketplace. The market is no doubt a haven for thieves and pickpockets. You make your way around the outside, fighting through bushes and over obstacles until you are close to the base of the city wall. The going is easier now across open scrub, the path winding between the occasional tree. Open Scrub is my Street Fighter nickname. From the market building come the sounds of 100 milling voices and the occasional laugh and scream. Through a barred window you see a tall flame flickering and snapping, but it does not seem to be spreading. A crow circles above the wall to your left. Crows feast on carrion, and this bird is circling just above the wall. Has something tried to attack the city and been shut down by the guard, or did someone try to escape that way? Shading your eye and looking up at the wall, you see a single guardsman standing with his bow ready. He is aiming at something in the fields beyond the city. You keep going across the scrub. Whatever that was, it's dead. I hope that crow has a good meal. You emerge from a small stand of trees to the back of a set of low buildings, from which you hear voices. An alley leads back into the main city. Well now, what is this? You pause outside the door to listen. I'm telling you, I went down into the cellar and there was something there. Did you kill it? No, father, I ran away. Keep listening. This is unlikely to be important, but it is intriguing nonetheless. I thought I taught you to kill thieves on sight, the older voice declares. It wasn't a thief. It had teeth and a sword, and it was digging. Interesting. You lean closer, fascinated. Did it have... The father asked, perhaps demonstrating something you cannot see. Yes, exactly, the son replies, and stops. Did you hear that? It came from outside. You hear footsteps approaching the doorway. I'm curious about this. I want to know what's in this guy's basement. Let's just chill. You wait, and the door is pulled back by a big man with a beard. He takes one look at you and shakes his head. We don't need to buy any potions. Good day. He slams the door shut, fully closed this time, and the door voices fall quiet. Okay. You move away from the hut and make your way back into the streets of Kare. Okay, it feels a little dismissive. I'm a little hurt. How far can we make our player icon move? Oh my god. Okay, I was just curious. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. After turning this way and that, no shit, you emerge from a small plaza, perhaps intended for visitors to the market building on your left, to tie up their horses, but if any have, then it would seem their horses have been stolen. All around the slum houses rise tall, squats piled on squats, emanating a thick and terrible smell. There are not many creatures about. The main road continues between the slums, heading up a low rise and a side alley heads east. Let's stop and eat. We haven't eaten yet. You perch on a low wall to eat a quantity of your cheese and bread. The smell of the slums get into your mouth as you chew, and you have to try not to gag. Something should be done for the people here so desperately poor. Yeah, no kidding. Poor, poor people. That is where we're gonna leave it for now. When we come back, we will decide whether we're going left or right. I don't know myself. But, that will be tomorrow's stream. Where we may or may not finish Sorcery Book 2. And then we'll decide, should we go into Sorcery Book 3? Or should we move on from this for a little bit? I don't know. I'm leaning towards Book 3, honestly. But it depends on how my voice holds up after another night of this. But for now, this seems like a good place to stop. I have our password written down, just in case it asks me for one. Yeah, I love game books like this. There are thousands of them out there. I don't know how many new ones are being made, but they were huge in the 80s and the early 90s. My favorite was a series called Avenger, I think. It was a series based around like your ninja clan has been defeated except for you. You're the sole survivor. Use your ninja skills to ninja and, you know, you have to avenge your clan. I think that's where I'm gonna leave things. Well, we're gonna raid friend of the stream, Jade. I'm not typing into that bot. Why am I not typing into that box? Raid Jade. Rardua. We're gonna raid Jade. Raided us enough times. And, as for that, good night, everybody.